Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's second video of career mode. And last episode I picked up Ramirez from Chelsea for 11 million, as you can see in the top deals on the right hand side just there. So that was a pretty big spending. That's the most I've ever spent at the club so far. We still have deals like Fellaini I'm hoping to get through. A few other players that I'm looking to bring in as well. We also picked up Raheem Sterling from Liverpool for 900,000, which was a bit of a bargain in my opinion. I talked about that a little bit last episode, but one of the comments in last episode was, Callum, you didn't need to buy Raheem Sterling. You don't play wingers. Now, this kind of prompted, I was just thinking about it, like, should I be buying players that I don't necessarily have, I don't play a particular formation to suit that player? And in all honesty, Raheem Sterling, if I play, for example, a 4-2-2-2, then Raheem Sterling can play one of those two center attacking midfield roles, and just, because obviously in career mode you can use custom formations, and you can just edit the way you want your players to play, so I can make Raheem Sterling play really quite far out, quite far out wide, and then have his attacking position to attack, inwards, to diagonally inwards, to help out the striker. So there's a bunch of different things you can do to really cater to the players you have in your team. So just because maybe a formation doesn't fit a particular player in, I always recommend, like right now I'm going for a 4-3-3 because that's what suits my team just at this moment during the transfer period. But you will see me change that a little later on. So I went for the 4-3-3 false 9 and place Cisse as the centre forward or striker. Matux, because he does have the pace, although he is more of a striker than a winger. I did feel as though he would suit the wing, the wing position perfectly fine because of his pace, and it does actually pay off because you do see that he can bomb it down the wings. But there are you'll see later on I do swap up my formation to one that is they don't have in FIFA, and all you got to do is go into your formations, scroll down to one which is very similar to what you'd like to play. Just tap that X button and you can change their base position, their work rate, and one other setting that that slips in my mind at the moment. But anyways, we have our first game of the, I don't know if in the first game of the transfer window, but my first game since I've purchased the new players. And at the moment, there's only been 2 new players in the team, but, the transfer window still has a little while to go, so fear no more. Ramirez and Sterling are the 2 guys that I was hoping would really show up in this game, but I do understand, obviously. It's a 4-3-3 formation, one that I'm not used to using, one that I don't necessarily like to use, and the only reason why I have it in place at the moment was simply to cater to the positions of the players I had at the time. But as the transfer window moves on, you guys will see that I'll be swapping those things around just to cater to more of a play style that I like to play. The formation that I was using beforehand was, I think it was 4-1-2-1-2, but a narrow 4-1-2-1-2. So instead of having left mids and right mids, it was 4 center mids essentially: a left center mid, a right center mid, a center defensive mid, and a center attacking mid. But unfortunately, Spurs won. And what I've noticed is the CPU, or the other team, scores so many rebound goals. For example, Julio Cesar will just claw the ball away, push it away, and it will go straight into the path of the oncoming team, and it just drives me crazy. But anyways, there's been a bit of confusion surrounding Bent. Does he want to stay? Does he want to go? What wants to happen? And I was, kind of on my mind. I was like, do I want to go in for him? Should I buy him? Because Cisse is getting a little bit old. But then also Bent doesn't really appeal to me too much. He's not exactly the player I'm looking for. The philosophy I'm kind of going for with this team is essentially building for the future. I want to get players who aren't very, are relatively young. Obviously I purchased Barry right at the beginning, and it was more of just to really solidify the center midfield and get a good center defensive mid there to anchor the team. But from now on, I want to be buying players who are relatively young, have, quite a bit ahead of them, quite a bit of time ahead of them. And so the likes of Darren Bent just wouldn't really fit into there, because I don't feel as though he has enough potential to really go on to be a great player. Don't get me wrong, he's a proven goal scorer and he definitely put it in the back of the net, but I just felt as though there's some other options out there that I'd prefer to explore. I already have Muriel there, who was looking pretty tasty. But anyways, Kevin Nolan gets the first goal to make them 1-0 up, and against a team like West Ham, this is a team I was really hoping to pick up 3 points against, and some great right trigger, left trigger there from Cisse, and again, for once, the little, the keeper pushed it away, palmed it away, and went into one of my attacking players' runs, so fortunately it ended up in the back of the net. But usually that that wouldn't really happen for me. And a rather sweaty goal, but don't fear, Ramirez picks up his goal, and that was absolutely delighted to see that Ramirez got his goal. I played him in a centre midfield role for this one, and I was absolutely chuffed, and not to mention that put us 2-1 up, feeling pretty comfortable throughout the game. But a cracking header from Jarvis, who in all honesty isn't the tallest player, so I was kind of questioning what is going on with the defense there. Why is he managing to get ahead to it? And again, some slightly poor defending, but it was the 90th minute, off the post, straight into their player's run. And I was so gutted. And 2 goals for Kevin Nolan, and they won 3-2, and that really shouldn't be happening. And it kind of made me question and doubt, you know, did the signings I make, are they really going to be any good? But I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm going to put the blame on that onto the fact of the formation. It's not a formation I like to run, and it was key that I started bringing in some new, some new players to really fit my sort of formation and play style, and create a custom formation that'll work well. But Roma, they're interested into Fernando Torres. That'll be really interesting to see if he goes over to Roma, because we do know Chelsea purchased Gomez in the last summer, and he was doing fantastic, bagging lots of goals. So I can imagine Torres isn't getting too much of a look into the first team, or not necessarily the first team, but the starting 11. So it'll be interesting to see if that transfer does go ahead. Anyways, to beefing up the midfield just a little bit more, I had Fellaini on the cards. I've already picked up Ramirez. And now we have Alexander Merkel, and he goes for 5.5 million. You guys might be wondering, Cal, who is this guy? Why are you even looking at him? And as you can see, his little exclamation mark is an exciting prospect. And for 5.5 million, he's age 20, already a 75 in a cam position, and I felt as though he would be a fantastic signing. Now, the way I came across this guy was actually in the comments of one of my videos early on, I'd say, in the series, and someone mentioned him, and I was just really interested by him, so I went all the way back to that video, found the comment, found the guy's name, and I decided to search him, found out that he was a hot prospect, and I thought, why not give him a go? I'm all for, taking advice from you guys, and that's exactly what I did. So hopefully Alexander Merkel, he does prove to be quite good, because I did put in a bid for him for 6.5 million, which is, is pretty hefty for a 75 rated player. But, I had high hopes for him. He's very much like Luis Muriel. I have high hopes for both of them to do well and to really progress and have a good squad report by the end of it, and just to be able to grow quite a lot. That's important, that their growth is key in this team, especially since we're building for the future, as you guys know. But a little bit of left trigger, right trigger action from Matux, and he manages to power past them, and a great cross from him, but unfortunately the header just wasn't good enough, although it did give the keeper a little bit of something to worry about. Unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be, though. But a bit of scrappy play, and Anton Ferdinand, the man who we recently extended his contract with, the man on 9,000 a week, which in all honesty is really not that much for what I'm getting out of him. He is a class player, and that one goal from Anton Ferdinand manages to secure us 3 points away from home against Swansea City, and I was really pleased with that, because after the loss against West Ham, I was a little bit nervous. Have these changes that I've made really kind of messed up the team chemistry. But fortunately for me, things went my way, and he deservedly picked up man of the match with that 8.5 rating as well. Also had a clean sheet, so all good for him. And I do need to start buying some players to really get out of this 4-3-3. I don't enjoy playing it, I don't enjoy using it, and it's time to really move on. Liverpool beat West Brom 3-1 there, and unfortunately, again, Luis Muriel is declining my contract offer. Will this even go ahead? I'm really not sure. The club accepted the amount, the millions that I paid for him, but it's just down to Muriel. He is wanting a lot of money. For a 21-year-old, I decided, right, okay, 60,000. Surely he's got it. Surely he's got to accept this. I even made a squad role an important first-team player, because in all honesty, like I said, we're building for the future, and the likes of Cisse, although he's getting old, and, don't get me wrong, he's still bagging the goals, and he's doing class for the side, but, it's important that we bring in the new players, the young players, and really develop them. As you guys can also see, is Alexander Merkel, his bid was accepted. Really chuffed with that. Great to see him, and hopefully this contract will be good enough and he gets back to us ASAP. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. I hope you did enjoy this episode. There's a previous episode, and again, I'm willing to upload one more later tonight if this video does really well. I'd love to show you guys the rest of this transfer window. And I really hope you guys are enjoying this series. I see a lot of great comments, and you guys have just been so supportive, so a huge thanks for that. On your left-hand side, obviously, feel free to click. There is the previous career mode video, and on your right-hand side is yesterday's insane squad builder. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a fan-dabby dozy day. I'll catch you in a bizzle. See you guys later.